Welcome to my channel. Today, I'll tell you a secret. Most people learn English the wrong way. They work hard, but they stay stuck. They buy books, watch lessons, and memorize grammar rules. But when it's time to speak, their mind goes blank. They feel nervous, slow, and unsure. Does that sound like you? If yes, then you're not alone. Millions of learners feel the same. The truth is, hard work alone will not give you fluency. You can study for years and still struggle to speak. Why? Because fluency is not about how much you study. It's about how you study. And that's where the smart way comes in. The smart way is faster, easier, and more fun. It doesn't feel like boring homework. It doesn't need hours every day. You don't have to learn every word in the dictionary. You don't have to sound perfect. You don't have to move to another country. You just need the right steps. Small, smart steps that train your brain to think and speak in English without fear. When you follow this way, English becomes part of your daily life. You stop translating in your head. You stop freezing in conversation. You start speaking naturally, like you do in your own language. Most people believe fluency takes years. But if you use the smart way, you can see big changes in months, sometimes even weeks. Imagine speaking with confidence, understanding movies without subtitles, and having real conversations without stress. So stay with me till the end, because today I'll share exactly how you can use the smart way to fluency, step by step. Starting today, Chapter 1. The truth about fluency. Most people think fluency means knowing every English word in the dictionary. They believe they must remember thousands of words before they can speak well. But that is not true. Fluency is not about how many words you know. It is about how quickly you can use the words you already know, without stopping, without thinking too much, and without fear. Think about it. In your own language, you don't stop and search for new words every second. You use the words you already know again and again, and still you can speak for hours. That's how English works too. You don't need every word. You just need the right words, and you need to be able to use them instantly. Let me give you a picture you will understand. Imagine a student named Ollie. He has been learning English for 5 years. He knows grammar rules. He has a notebook full of new vocabulary. He can read English books. But one day, a tourist in his city asks him something very simple. "Excuse me, where's the bus station?" Ollie understands every word in that sentence, but he freezes. He starts thinking about grammar. Should I say, "it is" or "it's"? Should I say, "on the left" or "at the left"? In those few seconds, the tourist is already walking away, and Ollie feels embarrassed. This is a problem. You can know the words. You can know the rules. But if you cannot use them fast, you are not fluent. Fluency is not just knowledge. Fluency is speed plus confidence. If you can speak fast, but you are nervous and afraid of mistakes, you will stop. If you are confident, but you take 10 seconds to make a sentence, the conversation will die. You need both. And here's the truth. Most learners waste years because they focus on the wrong thing. They spend hours memorizing lists of words they never use. They read and listen but never practice speaking. They prepare for the perfect moment when they will be ready. But that moment never comes. If you want to speak fluently, you have to train your brain to recall words instantly. This is called active recall. It means your brain is not just storing English. It is ready to take it out fast. Think of it like having a key in your pocket. It is not enough to own the key. You must be able to pull it out immediately when you need it. Learning English without active recall is like filling a bookshelf but never opening the books. The knowledge is there, but it's useless in conversation. That is why you can study for years and still freeze when someone asks you something simple. The smart way is different. It does not focus on collecting knowledge you never use. It focuses on using what you know every single day in small, powerful ways. It trains your brain like a muscle. The more you use it, the faster and stronger it becomes. Just like a football player trains to move quickly, you must train your brain to speak quickly. And here's something most people never think about. Your brain is lazy. It will always choose the easiest path. If you keep speaking your first language every day, your brain will stay in that comfort zone. You have to push it into English every day, even for a few minutes, so that English starts to feel normal. Think of your brain as a garden. If you plant a seed but never water it, it will die. If you water it a little every day, it will grow strong. Your English is the same. You don't need to study for 3 hours to make progress. You just need the right kind of practice every day, so your brain learns to use English without thinking too much. That's why the smart way to fluency is not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about knowing that fluency is speed plus confidence. It's about active recall. It's about daily training that makes English automatic. But here's the best part. You don't need years to see a change. You can start feeling more fluent in just a few weeks. You can train your brain to respond in English without freezing, without translating, and without fear. And you can do it in a way that fits your busy life. In the next part, you'll learn exactly how just 15 minutes a day can change your English forever. Chapter 2. Why traditional learning fails. Most people begin their English journey in school. And in school, the focus is almost always the same: tests, grammar rules, and long vocabulary lists. Teachers tell you to read textbooks, listen to recordings, and write essays. They give you marks for correct answers. But here's the problem. Life is not a test paper. In real conversations, no one gives you time to write down your answer and check it. In real conversations, you must think and speak in the moment. In school, you may spend hours learning the difference between in and on, or how to use the present perfect tense. You may practice reading stories and listening to dialogues, but you rarely get the chance to speak freely. You rarely have to think in English in real time, and because of that, your brain becomes good at remembering rules, but slow at using them in real life. Let me share a moment that many learners will feel deep inside. There's a student named Sarah. She is the best in her English class. She gets the highest marks in grammar tests. She knows the rules better than anyone. But one day, a foreigner asked her in the shop, "Do you know where I can find the train station?" Sarah understands every single word. She knows the exact grammar for how to answer, but she freezes. Her mind starts checking the rules. Do I say it is over there or it's over there? Should I add you can go, or just point? While she is thinking, the moment passes. The person smiles politely and walks away. This is the weakness of traditional learning. It builds knowledge, but not fluency. You can have all the grammar in your head, but if you cannot speak it quickly, It's like having a bike in the garage and never riding it. Think about learning to ride a bike. If I give you a big book about bicycles, how the wheels turn, how the brakes work, the history of cycling, and you read it for 1 year, will you be able to ride a bike? No. You will know everything about bicycles. But the first time you try, you will fall. Why? Because riding a bike is a skill. You must practice balancing, pedaling, and steering. Reading alone will never teach your muscles. Speaking English is the same. You can read, listen, and study grammar for years, but until you practice using it in real time, your brain will not become fast. The smart way to fluency understands this. It's about balance. In English learning, there are two sides, input and output. Input is what you take in, reading and listening. Output is what you produce, speaking and writing. Traditional school learning gives you a lot of input, but almost no output. You hear English, you read English, but you almost never speak it. That's why your brain becomes good at understanding, but slow at producing. To become fluent, you need both sides every single day. You must hear English daily, so your brain gets used to the rhythm, the sounds, and the patterns. But you must also speak English daily, so your brain learns to take what it knows and send it out quickly. Here's the truth. If you only listen, you will understand English but speak slowly. If you only speak without listening enough, you will make the same mistakes again and again. The balance is what trains your brain for real conversation. The smart way to fluency builds this balance in small daily moments. You don't need hours. You don't need expensive courses. You just need to connect input and output every day. For example, you hear a short English sentence in a video. That's input. Then you say it out loud yourself. That's output. This small habit trains both sides of your fluency muscle. But most learners never do this because they are stuck in the traditional way. They are afraid of speaking before they are ready. They think they need more grammar before they can talk. But fluency doesn't come after grammar. It comes with practice. This is why so many learners feel stuck for years. They have the knowledge, but not the speed. They have the words, but not the confidence. They have studied English, but they have not lived it. Now here's the exciting part. In the next chapter, you'll see exactly how you can break this cycle with something I call daily micro-practice. It's short, simple, and it works even if you're busy. This is where fluency starts to grow faster than you think. Chapter 3, Daily Micro-Practice Method. Most people believe they need hours of study every day to become fluent. They think fluency is only for students who have a lot of free time. But here's the truth. You don't need long, exhausting study sessions. In fact, short, high-frequency practice can be even more powerful. Just a few minutes a day, done the right way, can grow your fluency faster than studying for hours once a week. Here's the emotional part. Even if you are busy, even if you have a job, a family, and 100 things to do, you can still become fluent. Because 5 minutes of the right practice can be more powerful than 1 hour of the wrong practice. It's not about time. It's about focus and consistency. Think about learning to play the guitar. If you practice for 10 minutes every day, your fingers get used to the movements and your brain remembers the chords. But if you only practice for 2 hours once a week, you will forget most of what you learned before the next practice. Your brain needs daily reminders. English is the same. You need to train your speaking muscle every day, even for a short time. This is what I call the daily micro-practice method. The idea is simple. Instead of waiting for a big study session, you give your brain small but powerful training moments every day. These moments tell your brain, English is important, keep it active. And the more often you activate it, the faster your fluency grows. So how do you do this? Let's break it down into 3 powerful tools you can start using today. Micro conversations. This means practicing small bits of conversation with yourself or with someone else. It could be as simple as greeting yourself in the mirror. Good morning. How are you today? I'm feeling good. Or, if you're the friend who also wants to learn, practice a 2-minute role play. For example, pretend you are buying coffee. A, hello. Can I have a coffee, please? B, sure. What size would you like? A, medium, please. You can do this anywhere. In the car, while cooking, or during a short break. Just 2 or 3 sentences are enough to keep your brain in English mode. Thinking aloud in English, this is one of the most powerful habits you can build. Whatever you are doing, talk about it in English, out loud if you can, or in your head if you are in public. If you are making tea, say, I'm boiling water, I'm adding sugar. If you are walking to the bus, say, the weather is hot today, I'm going to work. This habit forces your brain to connect English words to real-life actions, making it natural and fast. Shadowing native speakers. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and copying their speech immediately, like an echo. You can use YouTube videos, podcasts, or movies. Play a short sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly as they said it. Same speed, same tone, same pronunciation. For example, if you hear, I can't believe it, you repeat instantly, I can't believe it, matching the rhythm. This is like training your mouth and brain to work together at native speed. Let me give you a real example. One of my students, Omar, was a busy taxi driver. He told me he had no time to study, but I asked him to try micro-practice. While driving, he talked aloud in English about the road, the traffic, and the weather. When passengers spoke English, he used micro-conversations. And at night, he shadowed short clips from his favorite TV show for just 5 minutes. In 2 months, he noticed something amazing. He didn't freeze in conversations anymore. His words came faster, and he felt more confident. The magic of micro-practice is that it removes pressure. You don't have to wait for the perfect time to study. You don't have to sit at a desk for hours. You just use the small moments you already have in your day. And because you repeat these moments daily, your brain starts to see English as a normal, everyday thing, not a scary school subject. Here's the aha moment. Daily repetition is more important than big study days. If you study for 2 hours once a week, your brain forgets. But if you practice for 10 minutes every day, your brain remembers. Small, consistent steps beat big, rare steps every time. Now, you know what to do daily. But here's something even more important. What you practice matters just as much as how often you practice. In the next chapter, you'll learn how to focus on the most valuable English so you can speak more with less effort. This will save you years of work and get you to fluency faster than you ever thought possible. Chapter 4. Focus on high-value English. Here's something that will surprise you. You don't need 10,000 words to sound fluent. You don't even need 5,000. In fact, you can speak 80% of daily English with just 800 words. That's right. Most conversations use the same small group of words again and again. And if you focus on learning and mastering these high-value words, you will sound fluent much faster. Think about it. In your own language, you probably know thousands of words. But in daily conversation, you only use a small percentage of them. The same is true for English. Words like go, come, want, need, good, bad, big, small, and happy appear everywhere. They are simple, but they carry the conversation forward. Here's the problem with many learners. They chase big words. They want to sound smart. So they focus on complicated vocabulary they almost never use. But native speakers don't talk that way in daily life. They use simple, common words most of the time. For example, instead of saying commence, they say start. Instead of purchase, they say buy. Instead of assist, they say help. Let's look at a quick example. Imagine you want to say, complex. I would like to commence my journey toward acquiring more linguistic competence. Simple and natural. I want to start learning more English. Which one sounds like something a native speaker would actually say in everyday life? The second one. And here's the truth. The second one is easier to remember, easier to say, and easier for others to understand. That's why your focus should be on core vocabulary and phrases, the small, powerful group of words and expressions that appear everywhere. When you master these, you can join almost any conversation and express yourself clearly. But here's another important point. Don't just learn single words. Learn chunks. A chunk is a group of words that often go together. For example, how are you is a chunk. Can I have is a chunk. I don't know is a chunk. When you learn chunks, you don't have to build sentences word by word in your head. Your brain remembers them as ready-to-use packages. Think of it like cooking. If you have to prepare every ingredient from scratch every time, it takes forever. But if you have pre-made sauce, you can make a dish much faster. Chunks are your pre-made language packages. You can pull them out and use them instantly. Let's try a small activity right now. Think about the last English video, song, or conversation you heard. Write down 1 or 2 phrases you remember. Then, listen again tomorrow and add more. Soon, you'll have your own list of the top 20 phrases you hear most often. These are your gold. Practice them every day. Say them out loud and use them in micro-conversations. One of my students, Maria, tried this method. She stopped writing long vocabulary lists and focused on chunks. She kept a notebook of her top phrases. I'm not sure. That's a good idea. Let me think. Sounds great. What do you mean? After a few weeks, she noticed something amazing. She could answer in conversations without thinking too much. She didn't have to build sentences from zero. She just used the ready-made phrases she had practiced. Here's why this works so well. When you learn a single word, you have to think about how to use it. But when you learn a phrase, you already know how it fits in a sentence. Your brain works faster and you feel more confident. The best part is you don't need to find these phrases in a textbook. They are everywhere, in TV shows, movies, YouTube videos, podcasts, even in your favorite songs. Pay attention to the phrases that repeat, and you will see that English has its own patterns. Now, here's the exciting part. Knowing which words and phrases to learn is only half the journey. The real challenge is making them stick in your brain forever so you can use them without thinking. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how to stop translating in your head and start thinking in English. This is the step that makes your fluency natural and automatic. Chapter 5. Think in English, not translate. Have you ever been in this situation? You're in a conversation. The other person asks you something simple. You know the answer in your own language. You start thinking. You translate the words. You try to put them in English order, but when you finally speak, the moment is gone. The person has already moved on. That's the frustration of translating in your head. It's like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy backpack. You're slowed down, you miss chances, and over time, you start to feel shy about speaking at all. Here's the truth. Translation is the #1 reason many learners speak slowly. Fluency isn't just about knowing English words. It's about using them without going through your native language first. That's why the fastest way to speed up your speaking is to think in English directly. Why thinking in English works like magic when you think in English? Your brain skips the translation step. Normally, your brain does this. Hear English. Understand it in your language. Translate your answer into English. Speak. That's 3 extra steps before you even say a word. But fluent speakers go like this. Hear English. Understand and answer in English. Speak. It's instant. No delay. And the good news? You can train your brain to do this, even if right now you translate everything. How to train your brain to think in English. You don't need hours a day. You don't need complicated books. You just need to make English the default language for simple thoughts. Here are 3 easy ways to start. Name objects around you in English, wherever you are. Look around and name things you see. In English, if you're in the kitchen, plate, spoon, cup, water, stove, knife. If you're outside, tree, car, road, shop, sky. If you don't know a word, look it up once and then keep using it. This builds your instant vocabulary for everyday life. Talk to yourself about what you see or do. Describe your actions in English as you do them. I'm washing my hands. I'm making tea. I'm opening the window. It feels strange at first, but this is exactly how children learn, by connecting actions with language. Replay your day in English sentences at night. Think about your day and describe it in simple English. This morning I woke up late. I made coffee. I went to work. Don't worry about making perfect sentences. Focus on speed and flow. The goal is to think in English, not to be perfect. A real success story. One of my students, Maria from Brazil, used to freeze in every conversation. She told me, I know English, but my brain is slow. She was translating everything in her head. I gave her the Think in English challenge. For 1 week, name every object she touched in English. Describe at least 5 actions she did each day. Replay her day in English before bed. By the end of the week, she noticed something amazing. When people spoke to her, she answered faster. By week 3, she could have short conversations without translating at all. The best part? She said it felt like her English brain had finally turned on. Why this changes everything. Thinking in English is not about grammar. It's about habit. Every time you practice this, you're building a direct connection between your thoughts and English words. The more you do it, the less your native language gets in the way. This means you respond faster in conversations. You understand more without needing subtitles. You feel more confident because your brain is ready to speak. Start today. No excuses. You don't need a teacher to start thinking in English. You can begin right now. Look around. Name 3 things you see. Say 1 sentence about what you're doing. At the end of the day, replay 1 event in English. Do this daily. And in a few weeks, you'll notice that English feels more natural in your head. But here's the thing. Thinking in English will get you speaking fast, but staying fluent is a different challenge. Most learners reach a good level, then lose it because they stop practicing the right way. And that's what we're going to fix in the final chapter. In the next part, you'll learn the 1 habit that keeps your English sharp for life, so you never lose fluency no matter how busy you get. Chapter 6. Live in English fluency isn't a one-time achievement. It's not like climbing a mountain, reaching the top, and then staying there forever without effort. Fluency is more like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weaker. The sad truth? Many learners work hard, get better, and then slowly lose their skills because they stop practicing. Here's the emotional reality. Fluency dies when you stop using it. It doesn't matter if you study for 10 years. If English disappears from your daily life, your brain will push it to the back, replacing it with a language you use more. That's why you must not just learn English. You must live in English. Now you might be thinking, but I don't live in an English-speaking country. How can I live in English? The answer, you create your own English world, right where you are. Step 1, change your world to English. Start with something small but powerful. Change your phone settings to English. Think about it. You use your phone every single day. If every menu, every button, every notification is in English, your brain will constantly be exposed to it without extra effort. It's like having a personal English coach living inside your pocket. Step 2, watch shows without subtitles. I know subtitles feel safe, but they're like training wheels on a bike. Useful at the start, but if you never take them off, you'll never ride freely. Start with something you've already watched before in your own language. This way, you already know the story, and you can focus on listening to how the words sound. At first, you might only understand 30%, but trust me, your brain will slowly start connecting sounds to meaning. That's real listening growth. Step 3, join English-speaking communities online. We live in a world where you can talk to people across the globe in seconds. Join a Facebook group, a Reddit community, a Discord server, or even a language exchange app. The more you see and hear English in real conversations, the faster your brain treats it as normal. And remember, you don't need to speak perfectly. Even short comments like, I agree, or that's interesting count as real practice. Step 4, keep an English-only journal. This is your private space. Write about your day, your dreams, your worries in English. Don't worry about mistakes. This is not for a teacher to grade. It's for your brain to practice forming sentences without pressure. Over time, you'll notice that writing becomes easier, and when writing becomes easier, speaking also becomes easier. That's because both skills use the same sentence-building part of your brain. Immersion is the secret ingredient. Here's the truth. You can do all the grammar exercises in the world, but if English isn't part of your daily life, fluency will feel like a mountain you keep sliding down. Immersion, surrounding yourself with the language, changes that. When you live in English, you stop feeling like you're studying. Instead, you're just living, but in a different language. You're watching your favorite shows, texting friends, reading news articles, listening to music, and thinking about your plans, all in English. And here's the magical part. When your brain sees English as normal, speaking becomes natural. You won't need to translate. You won't freeze. You'll simply talk. A final success story, let me tell you about Fatima, a student from Morocco. She had never traveled to an English-speaking country. She didn't have English-speaking friends in her city, but she decided to live in English for 1 full year. She changed her phone and computer to English. She watched her favorite TV series without subtitles. She joined an online book club where members only discussed in English. She wrote in her journal every night. She even labeled objects in her house: mirror, fridge, desk, so she would see English words everywhere. At first, it felt strange and even tiring. But after 3 months, she noticed something incredible. She was thinking in English without trying. After 6 months, she could have full conversations online without freezing. And after 1 year, she joined a video call with people from 5 different countries and spoke confidently for 30 minutes. She became fluent without ever leaving her country. Why this works? It works because it's not just study, it's lifestyle. When English is part of your daily world, your brain treats it like it treats your first language. Familiar, automatic, effortless. And that's the ultimate goal of every learner. The final push, now you've learned every step. Why traditional methods fail, how to micro-practice daily, how to focus on high-value English, how to think in English, and now, how to live in English. The only thing left is action. You can watch this video 10 times, but nothing changes until you take the first step. Call to action. If this video helped you see a new way to fluency, give it a like. And if you're ready to make English part of your daily life, no matter where you live, comment below, "I'm living in English." I'll reply and cheer you on. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple, powerful English lessons. Lessons that turn English from a subject into a lifestyle. Because fluency doesn't happen by chance. It happens by living it every single day. Call to action after Chapter 6. If this video showed you the smart way to fluency, give it a like. It helps more learners find this method. And if you're truly ready to start your daily English journey, type in the comments, "I'm going smart." I'll read your comment, reply, and cheer you on personally. And don't forget to subscribe for more real English lessons. Lessons that are simple, clear, and full of power. Because fluency is not about every single day. Starting right now.